everyone, today I'm going to be doing a video on my nail care routine. I'm not an expert, I'm not any professional or anything, but these are my long natural nails and I've been growing them out since about January and now we're in June, so it's taken 6 months for them to get this length. In January or late December I actually bit my nails all the way down to like here, so there was no white at all. I used to bite my nails for 24 years and occasionally I tend to break into the bad habit again and end up biting them all the way off. It's only happened maybe 2 or 3 times in these last 6-7 years that I've stopped continually biting my nails, but I've noticed that the couple of times that it has happened, it was pretty much I was under a lot of stress, or I was just very like upset or something like that. So right now I just have clear polish on them, as you can probably see a little glare. So first thing I do is take off the polish with this nail polish remover. I just buy this from the dollar store. It's $1 nail polish remover called Swan. The brand is Swan. It says protein enriched for natural nails. So I use that and a cotton ball. Okay. I'm just going to take off the nail polish. It shouldn't take too long since it's just clear. I have these vitamin E capsules. I'm going to take one of them and break it open and put the oil into this warm water. So I'm just going to pop it with this nail cutter and squeeze out the oil into the water. I'll even drop the tablet in there because it'll dissolve and get the rest of the oil that's in there. So you can feel how thick the oil is in the water. You can actually even see it right here. And just grab it and rub it on my nails, around the cuticles. Once the water cools a little bit more, I'll be able to keep my hands in there. Okay, so I just grabbed a couple pieces of ice. The water is pretty hot. I want it to be warm so that it doesn't burn while I keep my hands in there. The tablet is melting up. Okay, that's better. So now I'm just going to take the ice out and let that sit. You can let your nails soak for as long as you feel, but for me it's just long enough for the oil to really get into the nail and the skin around the nail. So maybe 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, now that that's soaked, I'm going to go ahead and let this ice finish melting in the water and set that aside. And I'm going to dry my nails. Okay, I'm going to use this Sally Hansen cuticle remover gel. And it has a pointed tip so that you can guide where the gel goes on your nail. And I'm going to add that to each nail. Okay, you want to let that sit there for about a minute, and then you can use either a cuticle pusher or even your nail to push back and scrape off the dried cuticle that's around the edge of your nail up here. Okay, so now it's been about a minute and I'm going to start gently try to figure out a way to hold this without getting the gel off my hand. I am not left-handed, so this is a little awkward for me. But you just gotta find a way to hold it. And I'm gonna go side to side like this to gently scrape off any dead cuticle or dried cuticle that's stuck to the top of my nail. And then gently push back, which I don't really need to do to get my cuticles to go back. Okay, I'm bringing back the water. It's pretty cold now, so I'm just using this to get off that excess gel off of my fingernails. And to dry my hands again. Now's when I will look at the shape of my nails and determine if I want to alter the shape or anything like that so that I can file. Some of my nails grow out a little flatter, so they look very like a paddle, widespread. So I may shape it a little different just so it doesn't look flat. And these are the files that I typically use. This is a cheap Revlon hard gridded file. To be honest, I rarely use this side. I actually use the back of this file, and it doesn't have a file on it, but just the roughness will actually help to file down the nail a little more gently than this. And I also use this one. This is the hard grit and then the softer grit. I also have this one, which is a very soft and fine grit to smoothen out and not really to take off any length or to do any shaping, but just to make smooth. So let's see. This one to me looks a little more square than this is round. This is also round. So I'll probably shape that a little bit to make it a little bit more round. And I'm just going around the edge of the corner to round it out a little bit. Okay, so in addition to filing out the edges to make them a little more round, I'm going to gently file the sides along the free edge to keep them smooth too, without any splits. Alrighty guys, wipe off any little sawdust. Here they are. What I will do now, because they feel a little moist, like they still feel a little oily from the vitamin E oil, is I will go over my nail one last time with some nail polish remover, and not a lot, and it's just to take off the oils so that when I paint my nails, the nail polish will adhere to the nail and not peel off because of the oil. Okay, these are the two base coats that I have. I have this Sally Hansen Hard as Nails, and I always use this. It adds a layer of strength to hopefully prevent any breaking, chipping, splitting, anything like that. And I also use this one occasionally, the Sesh Clear. I typically use this one when I'm going to put color on my nails, but since I'm just going to keep it clear so that my natural nail shows, I'm going to use my Sally Hansen, and I need to buy a new one. It's getting low. And I always paint with my weekend first, because then I'm not worried about the nails being wet with nail polish and trying to be steady with the nail polish brush at the same time. So I paint with my weekend first, and I start close to the top but not at the top, and then I push up and bring the nail polish down. Then do each side and also the free edge. All three sides of the free edge. And that was when I would typically add the second color, or the second layer, which would be the color, but since I'm going to leave this clear, I'm going to let it dry. Maybe later on today, once it's fully dried, I'll add another clear coat, but I'll use the Sesh Clear so that it just adds another layer. I actually might add a little tiny strip of the strengthener right across this area here where it's very, you can see it, it looks see-through right there. And I'm not sure why that is. I think maybe if I peeled off some nail polish, which I don't recommend you do, I may have ripped a little bit of the nail right there, which made it a little thinner. So I will probably add a little tiny strip across of the nail hardener to give that spot, to bulk it up a little bit and to add a little strength. And then once that's dry, add the clear layer of Sesh Clear and allow that to dry. And then what I'll do is in 1 or 2 days from now, I will add another layer of this clear coat to add some strength to it, and that'll help the manicure. Even if you have color or a design, that'll help it to last a little bit longer and not have the color chip on you or anything like that. Some things I also do at night typically. When I'm sitting in bed, I have this on my nightstand in the drawer, and I rub this Burt's Bees Lemon Butter Cuticle Cream on my cuticles and just let it sit and soak in. I just use my nail to scrape out some and rub it in. And sometimes after that, I'll also use a thick lotion. This is a good example of one. This CeraVe Moisturizing Cream. It's a heavy and thick lotion. This is, I actually use sometimes for my hands because it's nice and thick. But also, I sometimes use this as my facial moisturizer at night. because you only need a little bit, but it really helps to add in that moisturizer. Let me try to get that little, I put this little scoop in there. I'm not touching the lotion, I'm just trying to grab the scoop up. And you can see it's very thick and creamy. So I use this for my face sometimes. My husband uses this as lotion for his body sometimes because he likes the rich lotion and he doesn't like the watery, thin lotions. And I also use this for my hands also, which I'm not going to put by my nails yet because they're not dry. So that is basically all I do when I do my nails to keep them strong. Drink water, take multivitamin. If you're not already, eat healthy, obviously. Don't use your nails as tools. Don't scrape at your nail polish like I did and scraped off a little layer of my nail. And always use rubber gloves if you're washing dishes or using chemicals to clean, or do what you can to protect them. And keep them the length you want. These are pretty long for me. I have a short nail bed, as you can see. So it looks like my free nail growth, like my nail growth is actually longer than my nail bed. And it might be just a little bit. But I like them this long. If you don't like your nails so long, keep them at the length you like, at the shape you like. I like them round, I like them squared, but my husband prefers them round. So I tend to keep them like that because I like it and he likes it. Oh, there's my nails. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Bye.